The evildoers responsible for my husband's assassination have no idea what they have done. They killed Charlie because he preached a message of patriotism, faith, and of God's merciful love. But they should all know this. If you thought that my husband's mission was powerful before, you have no idea. You have no idea what you just have unleashed across this entire country and this world. You have no idea. So I want to tell you that we'll never surrender. We never will. Ever. Ever.
Brad, what's up, man? It's a honor to have you.
Man. Such an honor to be here.
Forgive the long introduction, but I just wanted to tell everyone what a legend you are behind the scenes, because you are one of those guys who make sure that the magic is happening. But this was something that was so profound. I wanted you on the show because it's something that we all witnessed, and it's a behind the scenes story that has to be heard. So why not just start off by explaining what happened at this Charlie Kirk memorial that seemed to be almost supernatural?
I mean, the whole thing realistically was supernatural. I mean, if you're in my industry, to get a stadium event planned with about 7 months in advance would be pretty wild. I got the call with 7 days advance for this one, obviously based off the tragedy that happened. We had a big memorial planned. So we were working on 2 or 3 days. We were going to go into the arena next door, that's where the RFK event was. That was at the arena next door. So we kind of had a plan on what we're going to do in that arena. Turning Point USA called and said, hey, this is getting bigger than we even thought it would be. Obviously, White House is involved. You name it, they're involved. We want to move it to Cardinal Stadium. And if you're in my industry, going from an arena is already heavy. Going from an arena to a stadium is holy moly, here we go. But let's just buckle in and get it going. And man, I think from that moment, you could just see I've had so many conversations about this, not only conversations of people that have talked about how this day just changed their life and they've rededicated themselves to Jesus, and which is just outstanding. But then so many conversations about what it went into it, how we could possibly do that in 7 days, how we could get the crew together. I mean, there's no way to do this realistically. And as a firm believer in Christ, there's no way to do this without God interceding, walking alongside me and making all these things happen that even I couldn't. I mean, I'm good at what I do, but there's no way some of this stuff would have happened without God interceding, for sure.
Can you talk about that stage? I mean, just to get kind of into how impressive this is. And these are these stages are the kind of stages that they use for the biggest musical acts, biggest celebrity acts in the world.
100%. Yeah. I mean, we brought in the same stage that you would see at a Taylor Swift concert in the stadium, Metallica, Chris Brown, all these secular artists that would have come into the same stadium. We brought in the exact same staging company who happened to have their calendar completely open that day. All of our crew, if their calendars weren't open, they made them open. I got calls, emails, texts from production company owners who I did know, and calls and texts from production company owners across the country who I didn't know. They just knew I worked for Turning Point. They assumed that I was going to produce this event, and everybody jumped in. They offered free gear. They offered free labor. I mean, it was such a community outreach and input that everybody just kind of said, all right, this is it. We're going to all come together. Differences aside, if we're competition up until this point and we're after this point, we're not this week. We're going to offer Brad anything and everything he needs to make this happen. Like I said, and with that, man, it was monumental. I've never been more honored to produce an event. Obviously, it's not the event I wanted to produce in my career at this moment. But what an opportunity and privilege was to honor not only Charlie, but to spread the gospel to now what everybody's saying, to 100 million people that day. What an amazing opportunity and honor that I had to be a part of that, for sure.
Yeah, you were part of history. You produced the single largest apostolic event in human history.
Which is amazing. So when I started Mosaic 10 years ago. I came out of full-time ministry. So I was in full-time ministry for 8 years. And what's wild is you can watch.
I didn't know that. That's amazing.
Yeah. But you can watch the moments that God has kind of put in line. So as of that moment, there's only one other non-secular concert event that's been held in Cardinal Stadium. That was 10 years ago. CCV, the church that I worked for here in Arizona, third largest church in America, we went into Cardinal Stadium. We had 10 campuses. We went into Cardinal Stadium to get all those campuses together and brought in 55,000 people to produce an Easter service on Easter morning in 2016. So from 2016 to now, there's always been concerts like a Taylor Swift and Metallica, all that, but there's never been a special event outside of concerts that have brought together that many people at that many times for a service. So when I look back, when I'm looking at these puzzle pieces that went together to make this happen, like God set me up 10 years ago to make this moment happen. Even the crew that was at the stadium, my main contact at the stadium, his name is Shashank. Amazing guy. Shout out to Shashank. The exact same dude that was there 10 years ago who I worked with and formed a friendship with. When I called to set up the site visit for this one, Shashank is the guy who answered the phone and said, "Brett, we've done this before. Let's do it again, and we'll work as hard as we can to make your vision come true." So, yeah, when I look at everything that happened, like way past my expertise, my experience of 26 years, like it was clearly God divine from the moment we started till the moment we ended.
Yes, and it was reflected obviously to the world
Right.
in the largest apostolic event in human history, but also a wonderful opportunity to demonstrate the differences between the moral worldviews of the two sides, because what you have on one side is when you have like 2 or 3 nihilistic, radicalized rioters together, you could burn down like an entire Washika, Wisconsin.
Yeah.
But you have 300,000, according to the data and cell phone tracker, 300,000 presumably center-right people that are there to mourn Charlie Kirk. And I don't even know of an instance of jaywalking. I don't know anybody who like spat gum on the sidewalk.
I just shared this with my team yesterday. Everybody that was on that event with us, one of our audio guys is best friends with a SWAT lead here in Phoenix, and he said SWAT was 100% told that morning to expect something tragic to happen. Like they were informed in their briefing that morning, something's going to happen. We're ready for it. We need to be prepared for it. One of my employees has a bomb squad girlfriend that works in bomb squad here in Phoenix. Same thing, 100% be prepared. Something's going to happen. Not one single arrest of those 300,000 people.
Incredible.
Between Glendale, Phoenix, Peoria, Avondale, which is all the surrounding cities. Not one single restaurant. They said it was unheard of for an event 10% smaller than this. Like where they have arrests for tailgating games outside of the Cardinals. Like. Yep. So to get 300,000 people and all these people that were briefed 100% something was going to happen and have zero is absolutely unheard of.
Brad, bro, I was at a college football game this weekend.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
And that's a lot of people. You know, the numbers are like there's 100,000 people there.
Yeah.
You're dealing with 3 times that, right?
Yeah.
According to the data, but still it's a significant amount of people. So there's 100,000 people in that stadium. I am telling you, my man, that I couldn't go like 20 feet without watching an arrest. Okay? Just some drunk, belligerent douchebag, right? Who's just like fighting with his girlfriend or like, shoving, throwing fists.
Yeah.
There were like arrests everywhere.
Yeah.
Okay? There were arrests everywhere. And this is a much smaller group of people that were there for a football game, right? They weren't there to mourn anything. They weren't there with some grievance. Like we were all there with there's grievance, there's like bitterness, there's righteous indignation.
Of course.
For all this, but then there's there was nothing. No. I was there all day, nothing, not a single. So you're telling me officially not a single arrest?
Officially not a single arrest,
wow.
according to his SWAT team lead that he texted him yesterday that he sent to us. Yeah,
it's unbelievable.
Like, yeah, you can't make that up. That's all God.
So just if you wouldn't mind, just really quickly, rewind your career with Charlie Kirk.
Yep.
And talk to me about why did Charlie make his events so epic?
Man, I mean, that's obviously what I loved about him because he allowed me to be me. He allowed everybody to be their best around him. And I think that's what started. We started with them in 2018. producing their events. We took over from another event production company. And my thing is like, just, I love to do what the client's vision is. But then, like I said, I've been doing it for 26 years. So I love to work for clients that allow me to be my very best. And if you know Charlie, obviously you knew Charlie, like he wanted you to be your very best. He wanted you to bring your very best. I demanded that of all my crew. And it just snowball effect. I mean, from 2018 to where they were now, you could kind of see the repercussions of how the events just continue to get bigger and bigger and bigger. It's because Charlie always wanted to be bigger and better. I always wanted to be bigger and better. The fact that we could partner and just be like, hey, let's see what's next. Let's not have any limitations on where we're going, why we're doing it. Like, let's just make this the biggest possible thing we can be a part of. And yeah, the AmFest, I mean, obviously that was the biggest event up until these moments, but AmFest is coming back in December, which is always just an amazing thing to be a part of. Obviously you've been a part of all of them. So yeah, that's just Charlie, man. When he expects the best, he also allows you to be your best. And which is what I love to do. Like if I can work for a client that not only expects my best, but allows me to be my best, the sky's the limit, in my opinion.
That's beautiful. And it became iconic.
Yeah.
We talked about RFK. We talked about how like that photo would be very different in a conference center. Yeah. If the GOP, if establishment GOP had produced that, oh, you better bet there'd be like fluorescent lighting, and it'd be
that spark waterfall that's behind him. So I got word we were doing that event. That was the closest one up to this one. That was about 7 days also to go in that arena. I got alerted 24 hours before the actual event started. RFK is going to hit the stage. This is official. It's just between us and you. We don't want anybody to know. And I called my whole production team. I was like, guys, this is way bigger than us. This is going to be an iconic moment. Like, I need to add some elements. And this is like at midnight, the night before showtime. I was like, I need to add something. What can I add? So I just racking my brain. I was like, let's just do Sparks or Charlie's thing. Let's just do spark waterfall from behind him and see what happens. And obviously, yeah, that picture will be in history books for as long as we live, for sure.
Nicole Shanahan, who ran as the vice presidential candidate for with RFK, is actually on the stream right after you, and so we look forward to. Yeah, I know she's listening right now, so it's fun to talk through. It's like an incredible thing that we've all been a part of. So that's one question about the past, Brad. I want to close with a question about the future, bro.
Yeah, of course.
I want to do it again. And I know it means something different for me, who gets to just like go on stage and let it rip, and hype and stuff on social media. It means a lot of work for you.
Yeah.
But we proposed something last week. I was co-hosting Charlie's show the day after this event.
Yep.
And I started the show off the top of the dome by like, that was spiritual. Everyone feels like they needed that. And what it really was, what that event really was a non-contrived opportunity for our leaders to describe their faith and their connection to spirit, to what they believe spiritually, right? And I feel like that's so important in this country, and it's utterly been banished from the public space.
Right. And
sometimes maybe it's inappropriate, right? Like if the president's doing a big thing about fentanyl, drug dealing, like that's probably not the place, honestly, to like describe. To describe in depth your faith. It's like everyone there are a bunch of different events for a bunch of different purposes. Okay, good, fine. There's plenty of threats to our nation and plenty of important things to talk about. However, since we are fighting a spiritual battle, why not do that every year in Charlie's honor? It's what Charlie has said time and time again. I asked my team to go find every time that Charlie talked about death and legacy. And to a man, like every time that guy was asked, every time he was asked, he was your friend and mine, he kept saying, I want to be remembered for my faith. I want to be remembered for courage for my faith. I want to be remembered for advancing the kingdom of Christ. It is like he constantly would message that. Yep. And so like, what a wonderful way to remember him. And by doing something like this every single year, what say you?
I'm all in, man. Yeah, I think I posted on social media, if I could go down as the executive producer for one of the biggest gospel movements in our lifetime, I mean, I could walk away tomorrow. My mission's complete, but I'm just getting started. And I think God's kind of brought me to this moment. Like I said, 10 years ago, my time in ministry, my time in this world, and my time in this industry, I'm very open and honest about my faith, which I've got a lot of questions. Like, aren't you afraid that you being so open and honest about your faith is going to lose clients? Like, honestly, just between you and I don't care. Like if I lose clients because of my faith, I guarantee God will open a door that I didn't even know existed. So yeah, I'm all in. I'm all in. If it's about preaching the gospel to more, man, that's my heart. That's my passion. I love working with Turning Point because they're not afraid to speak the gospel, and you hear Jesus' name from the stage as many times as possible. And that's my passion. That's my mission. And if I can continue to do that, then you name it, I'll do it for 3 days notice. Like you give me the time and frame, I'll do it.
What I'm saying here is like we could actually plan it.
Hey, that would be.
And what if we had what if we had a year's notice, right? Like we do with America Fest.
Yeah.
And how epic could we get it if we had,
we're talking about not planning. You look at the worship leaders that we got. I mean, I've seen it multiple times, the Avengers of worship leading. Like those 5 people are not on tour. They were not committed to a church on a Sunday morning. We called them. They all said yes. They all showed up. And then you look at the other moments. So I've gotten the conspiracy theories. Like there's no way this is all possible. No way it was all rehearsed. Like those moments with the banners raising, the moments with the push in on the banner of Charlie, like these really spiritual moments that happened that day. From me, who nobody does anything unless I say go. None of it was planned. None of it was rehearsed. None of it was contrived. It was all the Holy Spirit moving in the time and the place and through the right people in those moments. So if we can grab a hold of that and just let God do our thing, man, I'm all in.
And I'm telling you guys, I was backstage for a considerable amount of the day. Never at a Turning Point event does this happen. But no one was telling the speakers what to say. First off, wander over to Donald Trump and try and tell him what to say.
Yeah,
try it. Like, not going to work. But to Brad's point about coordination, these are the most powerful people walking the planet. And every single one of them, without being pushed or asked to, shared boldly about their faith. J.D. Vance put it very nicely, saying, I've shared my faith in Christ more in the last 2 weeks than I have in my entire political life.
Love that.
It's like it would be nice, Brad, to like work with you and let's capture that and let's do it again and do it again with purpose for Charlie.
100%. I'm all in. You know that. Anything you're a part of, I'm a part of.
My man. Well, ladies and gentlemen, you can follow Brad at Mosaic right here. This is the Mosaic Instagram account. It's got thousands of followers, and you should be one of them. You can see some of the incredible behind the scenes. I don't know, Klein, can we scroll here? Yeah, it's beautiful. You can see some of the like incredible behind the scenes of all of these events. Brad talking through what they're doing, and you can go ahead and make sure that you're following along with the people that make these events feel like they're spiritual, because they are. Right?
They are.
Yeah. Brad, it's our honor to fight with you, my man, and we'll see you on the road, buddy.
Thanks, brother. Appreciate you so much.